Hello, this is Zeke Freak. So everyone's talking about the new Nickelodeon platform fighter that got announced today. The lineup looks alright, but there are some weird gaps and omissions that people have been trying to fill with various suggestions and ideas, and I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring and suggest characters that I think are either somewhat likely or just interesting things I'd like to see, and I've got 10 of those. I went through Nickelodeon's history and picked out some of the characters that I think could be or would be in, or could be or should be in the game. And we're going to start with the most obvious that's absolutely in the game, and I don't know why they didn't already say it, but we're going to start with Aang. I feel like this is the most Captain Obvious pick of them all. He's from a show that literally is largely about fighting, so that makes perfect sense. He kind of has a, even if you just stick to the airbending, he's got a very built-in moveset already, so I think it's quite obvious. And plus, we're pretty sure his silhouette is on the leaked box art, so this is again a very obvious pick, but one that I would. Also, one of the screenshots shows that one of the stages is very clearly Avatar-based, so there's literally no way Aang isn't getting into this game. I think the only reason he wasn't included in the initial roster list is so that they can do a second trailer later where they hype it up even further by showing him in the game, so I think that's pretty likely. Also, we're absolutely sure that Korra is on the box art. And I feel like if Korra can get into this game, I feel like Aang is basically a shoo-in. And so my next character is actually, now I never watched this show, but I know for a lot of older people it is pretty iconic to Nickelodeon, and that's the Angry Beavers. And I decided to go with Norbert for one simple reason, and that's because the other one is voiced by Richard Stephen Horvitz, and Zim is already in the game, so that would get kind of confusing, although we're not even sure if the game's going to have voice acting yet, because sometimes these licensed fighters don't always have the budget for such things. I could not tell you what Norbert's moveset would be, but I think it is pretty likely just based on how important the show Angry Beavers was to the early legacy of Nickelodeon. I actually don't really know a whole lot about the show. I've only seen scattered episodes here and there when I was younger. It was a little bit before my time, but that's another character I think is pretty likely to get in. And then another character I think is super likely, again, probably saving him for another trailer to hype things up closer to release, but that's Jimmy Neutron. Obviously a very iconic character with all of his scientific gadgets and whatnot. There's a lot of moveset possibilities basically baked in. A lot of people want his dad, Hugh Neutron, in to better fit the memes. I don't think they're going to go with that direction. It wouldn't surprise me if this game turns out to be successful, that there may be some meme picks later on, and there may be even some meme picks in this list of mine, but I don't think that's something they're going to do right away. I think it's usually a safer bet to go with the most iconic character of a show, and Jimmy Neutron is very obviously the most iconic part of his own show, so I think he's very likely. And then, contradicting what I just said, I noticed that in the lineup we have now, there's no Fairly OddParents representation, which is pretty weird. Although the more I thought about it, the more sense it kind of made to me, because when you think about the main Fairly OddParents characters, most of them don't really come across as being appropriate for a platform fighter. Like, they don't. Fairly OddParents doesn't have a whole lot of like fighting in it, and like aside from just generic attacks, there isn't a whole lot you could do with movesets, I think. But if I had to pick one representative, because I feel like there's going to be at least one, because, you know, it was one of their longest running shows. It ran for like 10 or 11 seasons or something. So I feel like there's got to be at least some Fairly OddParents in this game. And the only thing I could think of that is perhaps iconic enough and also has sort of more of a fighter's moveset potential is Jorgen von Strangle. And I don't really have a whole lot to say about that other than just, if you asked me to pick one Fairly OddParents character to be represented in this game, I think it would be Jorgen von Strangle. But that's just me. And then another character we're pretty sure is in based on the box art silhouettes is Cat Dog. This is another one where I'm not entirely sure of the movesets beyond very basic things like rolling and swiping the other at the other one of them swiping the other one at a thing, you know. But I think it's very likely, especially given that it's almost certainly on the box art, so I don't really have a whole lot more else to say about that. And then another character a lot of people want in, myself included, is XJ9 or Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot. This one is, again, really obvious because of the sheer moveset potential. A lot of creative weapons and whatnot and abilities you could draw from the show and whatnot to make her a very unique fighter in the game. So, yeah, XJ9. If she's not in the, just because of the sheer moveset potential, if she's not in the game, I would actually be very surprised. And then this is more of a personal pick. This is more of a what's it called? A bit of a wild card pick. I think it could happen, or it could easily not. And I'm kind of undecided on this one, but either Rudy or Snap from Chalk Zone. And I say that because I think Rudy has the more moveset potential with the chalk and whatnot. You know, he's got the chalk. But also, I feel like Snap is a more iconic character to the show. Because Rudy as a character is kind of an audience stand-in. You know, he's not all that... He's not really the more memorable part of the show for me. I think Snap is more iconic, but Rudy has more moveset potential, so it's an interesting conundrum. But I would like it if Chalk Zone was represented. I watched a lot of Chalk Zone growing up, so yeah. And then I didn't watch this one growing up because by the time it aired, I was kind of, I think I was in high school. But one I think is fairly likely, and that's El Tigre. Yeah, sorry, my mouth is dry. El Tigre. Tigre. Damn it, I can't talk. Again, literally a superhero, so there's some inherent moveset potential there. Basically designed to fight as a character, so seems very likely to me. But we'll just have to see. I mean, I guess I keep harping on about movesets and fighting potential, but I guess if fucking Lincoln Loud can be in the game, then anything's possible. And then another one I think is somewhat likely just because of the monetary success of the show and it being somewhat recent, because, you know, this Nickelodeon game, it can't just be for us old timers. It's got to be for the kids that are watching it now and have watched it in the recent past. And so a character I think is somewhat likely to get in is Sway Sway from the Breadwinners, which, you know, I'm sure some people will be pretty mad about, but I think it's somewhat likely. There are some positives, though. You get Robbie Daymond in the game. Robbie Daymond voices the main character of Breadwinners. Did you know that? Did you know that? And, like, I guess he could have, like, an attack where he throws bread at the enemy. I know there's, like, different kinds of bread in Breadwinners that have, like, different effects. Like, I think one of the breads is, like, a date rape drug. And I think another bread made him emo for a bit. So, like, maybe there's some bread powers they could work with. I don't know. And then my last pick is, like, the most meme pick of all, and I have no ideas for a moveset whatsoever, but I just feel like Otis from the Barnyard has to be in this game. I feel like that's just a thing that has to happen. And they should absolutely reuse this T-posing model from the Wii game that I stole from the internet. And he shouldn't even have animations. He should just T-pose across the battlefield to assert dominance. Try reading his moves when he doesn't move. Move. Yeah. And like his ultimate attack could be like the pig coming out and being like, I diagnose you with death. Yeah. I mean, if they just want to go full meme shit with it, they could do that. That'd be pretty cool. What was the point of this video? If I was editing this, I'd just throw up like a bajillion Otises on screen right now, but it's live, so I can't. I hope the game's good. That'd be nice. Okay, bye. I had to find the button.